Hi, hello. My name is Hope. Probably this is just gonna be for my friends, but I don't know. This is just gonna be me talking a little bit about crafts. I have this idea that because I'm always hoarding craft supplies and thinking about things I want to do and then feeling sorry for myself because I never do those things. I don't know why, and I'm having a really hard time like doing the things I want to do. So I want to set up like a little bit of an accountability system where I do a little report at the end of each month about what I worked on, and what my plans are coming up. So this is that for January. This is Stanley. He's sleeping. Probably other cats are gonna come join us. And I didn't do this at the start of January to do like my plans because I had big plans to have stuff finished for the end of January to show and be like, haha, it's a great start to 2024. Look at all this stuff I made. But January actually ended up being a really, really tough month. And also I lost some stuff in my house, so we don't have anything to show really. So instead I'm going to be talking a little bit about stuff I made last year, my little feeble attempts at crafting last year, as well as some of the stuff I want to do so that the next time I sit down here I'll have something to show, because if I say I'm going to do it and then I don't do it and I put it on the internet, that's embarrassing. So, actually, the first thing I want to do is do a little couch tour, because I realized yesterday when I was sitting on my couch thinking about, like, what do I say? That I have a lot of, like, crafty stuff on my couch. This is one of my prized possessions. I did not make it. I found it at the secondhand store, but I was looking for a secondhand quilt for a long time. And then one day I just went into the basement of my little Value Village and it was right there, and it's bright red. I love it. It makes me so happy. So I have done a tiny bit of quilting, and that's something I want to try and do this year. So this is sort of like a little inspiration quilt. I will probably, if I do make a quilt, just rip off this pattern because I love having like the color blocks consistent. Amongst all the scraps. Right next to me I have a really sad quilted cushion that I made. I made it probably 6 years ago. And as you can see, I'm really bad. I've had this sitting on my couch. I've never patched it up. This was a prototype for a much better quilted cushion that I made for my mom for Christmas once out of linen scraps. But frankly, this cushion is disgusting. And I think one of the things I want to do this year is make like a crochet cover for this guy, or even just, undo it completely. I don't know. Over here, this is a a crochet granny square cushion that my mom gave me for Christmas. These colored squares, the non-black squares, are actually granny squares that my grandmother made. My grandmother passed 2 years ago now, and she left a lot of unfinished projects, and I have some of those here as well. That's going to be really important for me to work on. So my mom took those and put them together and turned them into a cushion, and she gave one to each of me and my siblings, and I think there are still more granny squares from her, from Emma, sitting around. So that's next to me here on the couch as well. Then this guy, which I don't know if you can tell, but is unfortunately quite stained. This is one I should really try to clean. I don't know if I can. It's like a weird polyester. But this cat was sewn by my great-grandmother, my paternal great-grandmother. And it has been through hell and back. I've had this since I was a kid. I don't know. I can't remember not having this guy. It's like sun stained. It's got probably tea and coffee stains from me. But yeah, I don't know. Just, it's cool to have like generations of crafting legacy on my couch. And I didn't realize that until just yesterday when I sat down. But yeah. This guy is just a little quilted turtle. that I found from the secondhand store, but I like it and it's quilted, so these days. And then these two cushions, this one and this one, are just little secondhand vintage crafted throw pillows. I've become a throw pillow person. I've also become a tablecloth person, which is wild because I used to hate tablecloths and I was like, what a waste of energy. I love tablecloths. I love this cushion. You know, I've never got the energy up to paint my living room, but like a good throw cushion really makes it pop. Okay, that's it for my couch tour. So, the biggest thing to report for January is that I have been crocheting. For people who know me, you'll know that knitting is my main craft. I am intense about knitting. I've done some like really time-intensive lace shawls. I'm quite fast at knitting, and I used to hate the idea of doing crochet because it was one of those things where I was like, you either like knitting or crochet. I don't know why I had that idea, but I had that idea. But I got into crochet last year because I wanted to make a little stuffed animal for my niece, and it's a lot easier to make little cute animal shapes with crochet. And then I was like off to the races, and then everyone's having babies, so I've been making a lot. I made a little goat for Adriana, which I probably have a picture of. I can put it up here. I made a goose for Simon's cousin who had a baby last year. I made another one. Well, I can't remember what the third one I finished is, but then I have this, which I made in 2023, and I decided I don't like it. So I have to start over. It's just too floppy. And I don't know. I'm not feeling it. It's probably just because it's been sitting around unfinished in my house. This was supposed to be for my cousin Katya's new baby, Zach, who was born, I think, like middle of last year. So it's like, chop chop, we're fucking late now. But I just don't like it. I want to restart it. I feel bad. I really have to finish that because I wanted to give it to her when he was like a newborn. So I've been doing stuff like this. It's stuff like this. They're all from this pattern book called The Animals of Pica. And they're all just little crochet cute animals. And I have been working on now a crochet animal for my friend Leia, who just had a baby. Actually almost 6 months ago now as well. I gotta hurry up. But I was almost done the mouse. I am almost done the mouse, and I lost it in my house. I don't know where it is. I was tearing my house apart. I'm confused and upset because I also had the start of a little crochet bat in there because Simon's sister is having a second child, and I was like, well, alright, gotta start that too. And I have all my little balls of crochet. It all lives in one, you know, big freezer Ziploc bag, and I don't know where it is. So that's infuriating. So otherwise I would have something to show. But I do have the little shawl for the mouse that I'm making. This is the shawl. Actually, this ended up too big because when I finished it, I still have the body. I hadn't lost it yet, and it's too big. I think the type of yarn is a lot softer, and I ended up probably knitting with a much looser tension because this is way oversized. So I have to take this part and do it again. Maybe I can put it on the dinosaur instead. Hey, too bad the dinosaur's getting ripped up. Alright, so yeah, so I've been crocheting. Crocheting's really fun. It's really fast. It's like really freeform, which I think is what I was afraid of with knitting, because I'm really good at following patterns, like knitting patterns like lace repeats and complicated math and things like that. And I was like, oh, crochet is just going to be too loosey-goosey and I'm going to get lost. But honestly, it's fine. It's super fine. And I'm learning to appreciate the texture of crochet, because I also really didn't like the texture of crochet. I really like that stretch and squish of knit. But I'm realizing, like, you don't just have to crochet with this nasty, tough cotton. You can crochet with nice, soft stuff, too. So that's cool. So we're going to be doing more crochet animals in 2024. And I better have this. This one has to be finished first, or, like, the one for Zach. Because Katsia's baby needs... He was born first. Katsia's baby is first in the line. And then I'll finish the mouse. The only other thing I actually worked on, which I am proud of, because this is a thing that has been like sitting in a box, you know, waiting to be started for a long time, is I started patching up some of my old knits, which are extremely moth-eaten. I have a messy house. I have 3 cats, and for a long time I had many rats. The last of my rats just died this month, which is part of why it was a fucking rough month. But I have a very dusty house. I'm not great at vacuuming. You know, this is not a minimalist house, and this is not a particularly clean house. I'll be the first to admit it. Dusty in here. So I've on and off had lots of problems with moths over the years. I'm in a good point now. I think since I moved into this house, I've done probably like 3 rounds over the years of like putting things in freezers and baking things in the oven and throwing out anything that seems to be a little bit like, you know, tampered with. But my stash has, for the most part, been like all yarns from like old ladies' attics and things like that. So, you know, you're at a much higher risk for moth infiltration with that. And I've had big moth problems. Anyways, that's enough of that. You can see big moth problems. You see these big holes? This is my favorite knit of all time. This is a shawl I made with just scraps. It's so colorful. I made it with scraps. It's a Stephen West shawl. I think it's called like Garter Goodness. It's just Garter the whole way through. It's really squishy. It's really bright. It's really colorful. And I'm really getting back into colors in a big way. And I want to start wearing this again. But there, you know, all the pandemic, I didn't wear these things. I didn't go outside. And it's still the pandemic, but you know what I mean. I didn't go outside. And they were just sitting around and they got big holes in them. So I have this one, which I have started. You can see the back side here of me patching up a couple of small holes. Frankly, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never patched this kind of hole before. And no, I did not look up resources beforehand. I just jumped right in. Because I finally had the urge to do it, and I had to capitalize on it, you know? I got that big ADHD brain. I gotta do it when I think of it, when I actually feel like doing it, or it's never gonna get done. But yeah, I love this thing. I absolutely love it, and I am going to, heaven or hell or whatever, I'm gonna make this wearable again. Because yes, I could just wear it with holes, but they're going to get worse. You know, they're going to get worse. That would be irresponsible of me. So I'm going to fix this guy, and I have started fixing this guy. And luckily it's scraps, and I have a lot of small scraps of scraps from when I did this, because I never get rid of any yarn. I have 2 other shawls that are in the same state, but that I am less attached to. So if I can fix them up properly, I'll probably then gift them, give them away. This, I think this is called the Moonrise Cowl. I don't know. I'll look it up. I'll put it on screen. But this one will probably be easier because it's less color, but it's got a lot more like patterning in it. It's a really long, thin thing. It's really long. It's really good for wrapping around your neck. Got less holes. Oh boy. That's not nice. I was just about to say it's got less holes than the other one, but we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do. If anyone has any resources for how to fix this kind of stuff, let me know. And then the last one is this, which I knit and it was fun to knit and I like the colors, but I don't wear it. So this one has the biggest hole. And I don't have any of this yarn left over. But it just, yeah. It's dirty too. Needs a wash. I don't know. Maybe I'll just frog this one. I don't know. I've never frogged a finished object like this before. And I don't think I will. I don't think I will. I'm going to save it. And then, you know, I'm going to find someone who wants it. Alright. So those are the things I have to fix. And that honestly already is a big thing on my plate that I need to, oh boy, that I need to slowly pick at and not get discouraged. You know, I'll just do a little bit at a time. But the other things I have been working on are from last year. This guy. So this. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with green. And this to me is the perfect, the most beautiful green yarn I've ever seen. Unfortunately, it was a one-of-a-kind yarn. It was a big one-of-a-kind skein that I got from, I think, La Maison Tricotée. And it was exactly the color I was looking for, because I have this idea of like knitting a sweater that kind of looks like slimy. I don't know what I'm doing, but I have dreams. Okay. And I was looking for this exact color. I went to the store and I found the exact color I want, but it's a one of a kind. And obviously I don't have enough to make a sweater. But I've just been sort of, you know, testing. This is a sweater. It's, you know, this is a little bit of a yoke. Just testing sizes and gauge and stuff like that. This is all going to get ripped out. But yeah, I have big dreams of like writing patterns. Or at least just like making custom clothes for me out of like what I can think of in my head. But I'm having a real hard time translating that and just like sitting down and doing the tough math work of it. But oh, I love this so much. It's the perfect color and it's so squishy. It's by Fleece Artist. It's by Fleece Artist. It was a one-of-a-kind by Fleece Artist. It's so squishy. I should really make just like a squishy hat or something out of this so that I can, you know, keep it close to my face. Oh, so squishy. Anyway, so that's something that hopefully I will not let fall to the wayside. What else have I got here? This is really just like some random stuff I did from 2023. This is cool. This is, I didn't make this. I have a coworker, Nick, who has a mother who is a big knitter and was sort of like downgrading, offloading some stuff. So I got a lot of her stash, but I also got some of her almost finished objects. So this is one of those. And I did a little bit of just like finishing, and I have to still sew in all the ends, but like it actually fits me and it's like really cute. It's really cute. So I have a couple of other objects from her that are need to be like pieced together, that probably I'll make and then give away. Then the knitting project that I most want to start, to like sort of dip my toes back into knitting since I've really mostly been crocheting, is a little ruffly clown collar that I'll put up on the screen somewhere. This is a pattern by Lydia Morrow, who I love, who's doing really, really cool pattern designs these days. She's one of the only people doing like negative ease designs that I really like and are super, super well thought out of in terms of like size inclusion and like whether you need bust shaping or waist shaping. But I'm not brave enough right now to jump right back into knitting a sweater. So I'm gonna knit this little clown ruffle thing. Because also I'm like into clown fashion now. I like dress all kinds of colors. Makes me happy. All kinds of weird colors and shapes. Clown fashion. Clown fashion. It's fun. Not like actual clown, but like Harlequin clown. Anyways, I don't need to explain myself to my friends. You guys know. You guys know what's up. So I have this hat that I knit a while ago that I'm going to frog because I don't wear it. It never truly got finished. It's extremely soft. It's yarn that I did a little speckle rainbow pastel dye on when I was still in art school. And I never knit with it, and last year I was like, I gotta use this yarn. I made it a billion years ago. And I made this hat that I don't like. So I'm gonna frog it and use this fingering base as it's the thicker base for the collar. Because I'm gonna do the 2 ruffle one where like one is fingering and then one is like lace weight mohair, and then the lace weight is gonna be this gorgeous color that I impulse bought. And then originally I was gonna put it into my slime sweater, but I realized like I still don't have enough. So I need to plan that better before I go into it. So this is gonna go in the clown ruffle color. This is, I did a good job. I kept the label for once in my life. This is Lily and Pine Dandelion lace. It's alpaca, suri, and silk. It's a really, really nice fabric. In the color Egghunt, so it's like a pastel green sort of flower speckle. When I bought it, I was thinking it looked a little bit like, almost like moldy, but like in a good way, like we like mold here. So that's that. So this and this are going to come together to make a clown collar, and probably I'll finish it for spring. Because I am a fast knitter, but I'm not like a prolific knitter. So I put that disclaimer out there because I get distracted and I have too many hobbies. That's one other thing I wanted to say is this isn't just for knitting and crochet. I'm allowed to talk about anything that I do here. So if it's, sometimes I do like furniture overhauling. I've wanted to do upholstery for a long time. I have like a rocking chair in front of me that I sanded and revarnished and started making like a weave C4 and then got bored halfway through. I started doing chainmail jewelry during the pandemic for like 6 months and then I stopped. I want to do a bit of that again. I've got too many hobbies, and I'm actually, one of my goals this year is to sort of like do a little bit of any of the hobbies I want to keep in my life. I have to actively be working on them just a little bit. Otherwise, like, my house just becomes a graveyard for hobbies. And I'm sure this sounds very familiar to lots of people. And yeah, I didn't realize I had ADHD until like last year. Yeah, I'm a hobby gremlin. Anyways, the last things I have here are 2 bags of brown. 2 bags of brown half-started sweaters that are boring, so boring, and I need to learn not to start projects that are boring. This is a sweater that I started. I knit this entire thing while I was sick with COVID in November, because I just needed something to do while I watched TV, because I'm never otherwise sitting down watching TV. This is all lace that I got from that person, Nick's mother, my coworker Nick's mother. The cool thing is she gave me a lot of sweater quantities of yarn because I'm not a sweater quantity buyer because I'm cheap as fuck. And for most of my life I was broke as fuck. I'm not broke anymore, but I still have that cheap brain. So there's that one, and then there's this, which is some like knit picks. Cheap fabric. I was trying to like knit my perfect cardigan. I don't know, maybe I'll pick it back up again. I'm so bad for doing this. And I guarantee you I didn't write down any details about what I did here. Oh, like I hate myself sometimes. Why do I do this to myself? I make my life so hard. So that's it. That's all I have for now. Is it? No, actually. I have more stuff. I'm very disorganized. The other thing I wanted to show you, it's kind of dusty, it fell on the floor. This is a little crochet rat sweater that I made for my rat Nibbles over Christmas. She was sick and she was losing weight and she was cold, so I made her a little sweater. She wore it a couple of times before she passed. And then this last thing is, I mentioned I have some fabric, or not fabric, some projects from my grandmother. I have a couple of pairs of socks that she started that are in really nice colors. She actually was using the same yarn that I used to make my socks, which is like the Knit Picks self-striping Felici yarn that I really like. You know, Knit Picks is whatever, but when you're cheap, you can't always buy the fancy shit. So we got this really nice striped Knit Picks yarn, and I'm gonna finish these socks and then give them to someone for Christmas. So yeah, hopefully next time at the end of February I will have, these are my goals. I'll set some goals for myself. Find my bag of crochet, finish the crochet tutu for my cousin Katya's baby, and start and hopefully finish the clown collar, but it's okay. As long as it started, we're happy with that. I forgot the first thing I said. Find the crochet bag. Find the crochet bag. Yeah. Okay, well that's it.